slide, or your homework assignment, I should say. So let me just share my slides really quickly. All right, so homework over here. So Brady, you can read out loud your answer. Oh, yes, Elaine, you have some question here.
No, but can I when Brady when Brady finish, can I share mine?
Yes, Elaine, you can go next.
The the best experience I ever had was in the winter was probably when me and some neighbors decided to do a big snowball fight. One reason it was fun because 20 kids it's very hard to cooperate, and this is one of the only times everyone did. It was so fun because I got to backstab my friends, and they chased me with snowballs until I reached my house. Also, we split up into teams and we were winning a lot of the times. At the end, we cornered them with snowballs.
Right, nicely done, Brady. Okay, so Elaine, you're up next now.
My first experiment is snowboarding at Fano. My fun experiment was also hard because the air is cold and it made my toes freeze, and the mountain is huge and made me scared. But at least the snow was not fake snow. At first, it was hard to balance on snow, but I didn't give up. After an hour, I made it smoothly down the mountain. I said to my teacher that I want to go on the huge mountain. Well, I made it smooth down the small mountain. I said to my teacher that I want to go on the big mountain. My teacher agreed. So when I smoothly slide down the mountain, I was proud. Snowboard made me proud and happy because it is fun, challenging, and I can learn from it. The best experiment in the winter for me is snowboarding.
Thank you, Elaine. Very nicely done. And I like how you had a concluding sentence to wrap up your passage. All right, so next up, can I get Wesley? Can you read out loud your writing?
The most happy thing is in this winter is attending to my friend's birthday party. It was on January 15th. My home is very close to my friend's home. That day we ate dinner at my friend's home. His mother cooked chicken wings for us, but they are not ripe yet. Then his mother took us to the car karaoke. We sung a lot of songs. We had a great day.
Thank you, Wesley. Good job reading out loud, good pronunciation, and reading pace. Next up, Allison, can you read out loud your reading answer? Allison, so you can read out loud your writing.
Hold on a second. Okay, my best experience I had during winter was skiing. We went to a hotel that has free breakfast. I had waffle cereal, toast, and drinking orange juice. The main pool, I went to a pool to swim in different strokes like freestyle, breaststroke, butterfly, and backstroke. We went to the arcade that was full of games like air hockey, pool, basketball hoop, etc. During skiing, we went to a couple of ski resorts called Black Mountain, Canyon, Saddleback, and Berkshire East. My favorite ski place is Black Mountain because I get to do all the trail. It is wide, less steep, but I would do a blue and black trail as well. Helping a girl when she's injured by calling a ski patrol when my dad, brother, and I went to stop by. I saw a girl who was hurt. He is so kind and helps her by calling a ski patrol to see what's happened. This is my favorite experience because I can spend time with my family and do some activities together.
Yes, great job, Allison. So good answer you have here. Very detailed answer. I think maybe you have maybe one sentence that might be switched out or in the wrong order. So helping the girl when she is injured by calling the ski patrol. So this sentence you can put it after when your dad, brother, and you stopped by and saw a girl who was hurt. So I think maybe just this order here, these two sentences could be switched in terms of order, but otherwise very nicely done. Good detailed answer. Okay, so does anyone else have their answers from last week that they can send in or would like to read out loud? So Isaiah, Jinyi, if you have your answers ready and you want to read out loud, that's fine as well. No? Okay, so I'll just move on for now then. Okay, so next up that we have is let's do a quote of the day, but this quote we'll read out loud and then we'll answer this question here. So this quote by Albert Einstein where it says, I never teach my pupils, I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can learn. So this quote is saying basically that when you're educating students or being a teacher to students, you're not just teaching pupils or teaching your students, you're attempting, or in this case, in Albert Einstein's teaching style, he wants to give the tools and also the environment in which they can learn. So it's not just teaching materials and then you call it a day and say, oh, done with class, but rather you are providing the materials, maybe the environment and conditions for the students to learn themselves and to actually absorb information rather than just sitting in class, listening to a teacher talk, and then leaving class. So maybe they won't learn as much from that situation. Okay, so coming to this question over here, is the use of technology such as computers, iPads, tablets, and such in education, so in schools, is this harming children or helping them? All right, so I'll put this into the group chat and you can give some examples, maybe from your own personal experience or things that you've read from the news to support your answer. If you would like, I can also give you some time right now if you would like to briefly look up maybe some news articles regarding the use of technology in education. Maybe some news articles have mentioned the benefits of technology or maybe the consequences and the negative effects of using technology. So I'll give everyone some time to think of your writing, think of your answer, and also to look up some articles if you would like. So 7 minutes, I'll give you all. Thank you, Allison, for giving in your answer. So I'll just add that into the slides for now. And for everyone else, you have around 2 minutes left, so you can keep on writing. And Allison, if you would like to add some more details to your sentences, or even if you would like to look up some news articles regarding the use of technology and if it's good or bad, you can also do so as well. Maybe you can be specific and mention, oh, when is it appropriate to introduce technology? So maybe they have to be a certain age, maybe they have to be in grades 2, or maybe around 10 years old before they should start using technology. So you can also mention that if you would like, Allison. So just looking at your answers so far over here, you can say the teachers can provide you. So what do they provide you? So you can be specific. Yes, Elaine.
I don't really know how to write it. How to write it.
Okay, so we have this quote here, but we're coming to this question here and we're answering this question specifically. So this question is saying the use of technology in education, is that a good thing? Is it helping children or is it a bad thing? Is it harming children? So you can say specifically how is it helping them or how is it harming them? So you can pick one or the other, or you can even mention both if you would like. And you can do personal experience. Maybe in school, you can say how technology has helped you to type better or to be able to access maybe news articles to help with your writing or such. So you can answer whichever side you want. Does that help? So hopefully that will give you some clarification, Elaine. But I'll look at everyone else's. And okay, so 2 minutes have passed. Time is up. So everyone send in your writing now. Thank you for Brady and Wesley for sending in theirs. So again, anytime you have examples, you don't need to say my math teacher here, or you don't need to capitalize my math teacher. And then anytime you have like a little description under behind the noun, so after the noun, you mention like my math teacher, and then you mention maybe the name, or my math teacher, comma, who is always late to class, comma. So it is a little like description after the noun. You can put that in commas. So again, what does he provide you? All right, so next up that we have Brady. Oh, I like how you're using controversial here. Yes, great vocabulary word. So for those that don't know what controversial means, Brady, can you define what controversial is?
Controversial means like there's a bunch of sides to it.
Yes, so exactly. Controversial means that you can argue both sides. So maybe there are a lot of sides to a topic. So it could be for or against. For example, the use of technology in education. Some people can argue that it's good, some people can argue that it's bad. So, yes, any topic that you can argue a lot of sides on or for or against is called controversial. Uh-huh. Addicted and be sad. And distraction, yes. So downside is one word here. We can just put that together. Attention span, yes, nicely done. And then here, if you're talking about plural, we would do are. So here, you're harming ing. You would also have to put ing to keep the tenses together. Myopia, nicely done, Wesley. So Wesley, can you define what myopia is for the rest of the class?
Myopia means that if you watch TV or something like phones, you get myopia. Myopia is that you if you take off the glasses, you can't see anything.
Okay, nicely done, Wesley. So yes, that's a good definition. And to add to it, you can even say myopia is another way to say short-sightedness, meaning that you can only see things in close distance. So you can't see far distance or far away things. Okay. All right, nicely done, Wesley. And for other students, let me input your answer. So Serena, as well as Isaiah. Eyesight. Okay, so in this case, sights is referring to a location, but if we're talking about vision, it would be eyesight with GHT. Like play video games, yes. All right, nicely done, Serena. I like how you gave some examples here as well as a personal example in the last sentence. Nicely done. So here, Isaiah, I think you're missing a verb. I don't like or I don't need. So maybe what do you not blank word? So over here, you can say I don't need or I don't like the use of technology.
Think.
Ah, okay, think. Yes. Yes, Isaiah, good point over here. I like this example. So you talked about AI here. And yes, AI is a very big issue in education because when you're asking AI, artificial intelligence, it's very easy to use AI's answer and submit that as your own work. And that is not good. That is not allowed. So that would be plagiarism. Plagiarism. And this is where you're copying other people or copying, in this case, the computer or AI's work and using it as your own. So that is called plagiarism. Okay, nicely done, Isaiah. All right, so anyone else who haven't submitted in their answer? So Jinyi, do you have your answer? Yes, AI is cheating if you do your homework with it. Nicely done, Serena. Exactly. Okay, so Jeannie, you can submit your answer. If you have finished, it's okay. If you haven't finished, you can just submit it anyways. But I will move on for now. Okay, so moving on quickly to the recommended. Oh, yes. Jeannie, thank you. I will input your answer now. So using iPads, no need for the apostrophe, just plural. Is helping children as it has games and encourages you to learn. The downside, one word, is that it will downgrade your eyesight. Okay, nicely done, Ginny. And of course, if you have the time, try to include an example, maybe some additional details, but nicely done so far. Okay, so moving on to the recommended book and author that I have. So I have here a book called A Wolf Called Fire by Roseanne Perry. So you might have read the first book in this series, but this is a standalone companion novel. So I'll just have here, can Isaiah read the first paragraph over here?
A standalone companion to Roseanne Perry's New York Times bestseller, A Wolf Called Wander, tells the wilderness survival story of the wolf pup known as Worm and is illustrated in black and white throughout. This voice of the wilderness novel features extensive back matter, including a map.
Nicely done, Isaiah. All right, good pronunciation for extensive here. So just be careful of the word wilderness. So wilderness meaning like kind of like in the wilds, wilderness. Okay, so moving on to the next paragraph over here. Can I get Serena to read out loud?
Worm is the smallest pup, the one his father calls the heart of the pack. But all Worm sees is his bigger brother, sharp and swift. Even his sisters pounce and wag, winning all the wrestling matches. Just as Worm is finding his place, enemy wolves destroy and scatter the pack. Worm's helps lead the pups away from the fight, only to find himself along with four pups to defend and feed. Can he be both the heart and the head of a new pack? Does he have to choose the aggressive leadership style of his father and brothers, or is there another way?
Nicely done, Serena. All right, so thank you, Elaine, for sending in your answer, and I'll just quickly input that after this last reading of this paragraph. Ginny, can you read out loud here?
A Wolf Called Fire is a standalone companion novel to A Wolf Called Wanda. It's inspired by Wolf 8, a real Yellowstone wolf who was the smallest of his pack and constantly bullied by his bigger brothers. Wolf 8 survived a tumultuous
Tumultuous?
first year and grew up to be a different sort of leader, one who fought many rival wolves to submission but never killed any. He had a rare talent for mentoring young wolves and became a
Patriarch.
patriarch of the largest and most successful pack in the Yellowstone by choosing a more collaborative and generous leader style. Features black and white illustrations throughout and extensive back matter, including a map.
Yes, good job, Jinyi. All right, good pronunciation for complicated words such as collaborative and generous, as well as illustrations and extensive. Okay, so for those that don't know what this word mean here, tumultuous, let me just input that. It means basically something that is rocky or unstable, as in lots of ups and downs. So that's what tumultuous means. It's an adjective meaning, for example, if you're describing your childhood, it was a tumultuous childhood, meaning that it was very rocky and unstable, lots of ups and downs. So it's very like shaking around. So meaning mostly rocky, unstable here. Okay. So I have these three vocab words defined in our next slide here. Oh, but first I'm going to input Elaine's answer really quickly as she has just submitted her answer. So technology with GY as well as the H, and also harm them because. Okay, yes. Yes, I like how you mentioned AI as well as video games. So that's right. You can have a lot of apps, a lot of different things on an iPad or computer, and it's very easy to just look away from the educational tools or the learning material and to go on to maybe gaming apps and other fun apps to look at instead. So yes, good example over here, as well as asking AI. And of course, AI can be helpful. I also like, Elaine, how you mentioned here specifically um, what grades are able to have cell phones because they can control themselves. Yes, nicely done, Elaine. All right, so coming back to the about the author here, can I get Brady to read this part?
I'm the author of several novels for young readers, including New York Times bestseller A Wolf Called Wander and A Whale of the Wild. There is information about my books on my website.
Nicely done. Okay, next up, Allison.
I write because I love to try to illuminate and uplift our world. I try to write things that are heartfelt, encourage conversation in families and classrooms. If you wanted to ask me a question or even to come speak at your school or library, I love that there is a contact me area on the website.
Yes, good job, Allison. So just remember to pronounce the words, keep up the diction, as well as the reading voice. So try not to like maybe become more soft or quiet at the end of the sentences. Yes, Elaine, you have your hand raised.
Can I read the next paragraph?
Yes, you can read the last one here.
Okay. When I'm not writing, I try to be an advocate of literacy and libraries. Whenever I can, I like to read of various of
Obviously.
Obviously, to hike and dance and go to the bench and play at the harp and ride in the treehouse.
Nicely done, Elaine. All right. So good job pronouncing advocate. So advocate it meaning someone who speaks up about a certain topic or speaks up about for people. So maybe those that advocate for the children to go to school. That means that they are supporting the concept of children going to school and maybe they are protesting that or speaking up about it at conferences or in the government um, meetings. So that would be an advocate. Literacy over here, literacy meaning the ability to read and write, as well as obviously, nice job pronouncing that, and beach. Just be careful of beach. All right, so I have the three vocab words that I talked about before highlighted over here. Aggressive, patriarch, and collaborative. Aggressive meaning two definitions here. If you're talking specifically about a person or an animal, it means they are ready or likely to attack or confront. So this is characterized by or resulting from aggression. So usually you see aggressive and aggression, they kind of have the same root word over here, aggress over here, meaning they are ready to kind of attack or to confront a person or thing. But if you're using it to talk about, for example, not a person or an animal, but rather a concept, then it can be behaving or done in a determined and forceful way. So, as an example for the first definition, oh, the aggressive dog always growls at any passing animals and humans. Or it can be for the second definition, we needed more money in order to pursue or meaning to follow our aggressive takeover strategy. In this case, it's describing the strategy, and the strategy is a very maybe forceful or determined way. Okay, next word we have is patriarch. This is defined as any male head of the family or tribe. So in this case, you can talk about humans. Maybe usually the father is the patriarch of the family, but maybe if there's no father, it could be the grandpa, the grandfather, or maybe even an uncle that can become the patriarch of the family. And here's an example sentence. The patriarch of this herd of wolves is always on the hunt for new land. So I think actually the group word for wolves is maybe not herd, but maybe something else. I don't remember, but we'll just keep it as herd for now. Now, next up we have is collaborative, which is an adjective, and this means to involve two or more parties working together. So that is what collaborative means or collaboration. Oh, Serena is saying patriarch can also mean the Pope. So yes, maybe if you're talking about religion, so maybe in this case, Catholics, then the Pope would be the patriarch of that religion. Yes, nicely done. Okay, so now that you have these three vocab words in mind, you are going to tell a story about an animal or a person who was hurt and disabled but grew to overcome his challenges. So use three vocab words. Try to include or write a story about all of this over here. Okay, so I will include this into the chat as well as the writing prompt. And I'll give everyone some time right now.
I, I didn't really know how can I write how can I write this how can I write a story?
Okay, that's okay. So here, if you're writing a story, you can just make one up. But if this is too challenging and you're unable to write a story for this writing prompt, then you can just create 4 to 5 sentences using these 3 vocab words instead. So if that helps, you can do that instead.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll give everyone some more time, or I'll let everyone know that we still have 3 more minutes. All right, so time is up now. 5 minutes have passed. If everyone can send in their answers, that would be great. So it's okay if you can't finish, just wrap up whatever sentences you do have and send it in. And of course, if you can't use all 3 of those vocab words, just using 2 is good enough. And just send in your answers right now. So I'll input Serena's answer as well as Allison. Okay, so Serena, I like how your story started out. So you used the word aggressive, but maybe you could also use collaborative or patriarch. So patriarch might be harder to do so, but what about collaborative? If you want to mention Jimmy working with maybe another person, Jimmy was hurt, or maybe you can say 2 other friends had to work together to help Jimmy who was hurt. But otherwise, good start to this story. So for Allison over here, okay, so I think it might be unfinished over here, Allison, but keep on writing. You forgot to put the vocab words and can't think of anything right now. That's okay. If you just want to write sentences of the vocab words, that's fine as well. So no need for a story, just writing the vocab words in a sentence. That is fine as well. So everyone else, you can send in your answers. It's okay if you don't have it complete or such. Just send in whatever you do have so far. Thank you, Brady. So I'll add in your answer. So if you're using it in one sentence, you can say, there's a person called Mason who is very good in every aspect, but talking to others. Then we can do new sentence. Instead of being the patriarch. So here, patriarch, you can actually just have it as a lowercase as it's just a noun and not a name. So that's why we have it lowercase. Please. Okay, patriarchy is, in this case, you're trying to say he is not collaborative with others. So he is, mm, instead of treated, you can say he does not collaborate. Here you have so he decided to, and then try to use another phrase instead of so he decided to again. Think of an idea, then we can say an idea to plan to talk to others every day, just like this. All right, so Jinyi, I'll add in your answer as well. One day there was a dog looking after a sheep. So I'm assuming sheep are plural. Otherwise, you would say a sheep as well. The farm. Aggressive patriarch of a wolf pack runs into the farm as it's talking current tense, threatening to eat the sheep. Okay, so here, very good attempt to use the word collaborative, but collaborative is actually more of a verb, adjective over here. So here, if you're wanting to use a version of collaborative, you can say they collaborate with each other. So that would turn this word into a verb. Since the sheep and dog are collaborating together, they ran away unhurt, you can say. All right, so this concludes your answer over here. Let me add in Isaiah's answer. Nice job of using collaborative things. So yes, collaborative, you're here using it as an adjective. And this is the noun or thing. You can even be specific and say collaborative, maybe plan or collaborative strategy. So I'll just say, let's just say plan, collaborative plan. Nice use of patriarch over here and aggressive. Nicely done, Isaiah. Very good story over here. Okay, so I'll add in Wesley's answer now as well. The wild goose. So here you're talking about one wild goose, so no are, but rather is. But we don't need to use the to be verb, so is or are over here. You can just say there's a wild goose that travels to the south. And then travel for singular item or singular noun is with an S. Remember, we use an N for anything starting with a vowel. Island has a silent S in it. They go to the south together. Okay, so good job, Wesley, with your story over here. I would just say good job using patriarch. Maybe you can use aggressive here as well. Maybe talking about the hunter. You can say it gets shot by an aggressive hunter. And then last word would be collaborative. So maybe here you can say its family chooses to collaborate together to create a plan to get to the self together. So maybe you can do something like that to include those vocab words. Right. So anyone else have their writing ready and done? You can just send it in. Okay, so for now, I'll just move on to the next part, which I'll quickly do is the idiom of the day. So we haven't quite done idiom of the day in some time, and I have this new one over here called dime a dozen. What does it mean? Does anyone know what it means? Dime a dozen? Yes, Serena?
I kind of think it means like you have lots of money.
Ooh, so Serena thinks lots of money. Okay, lots of money. Very, we're on the right track here, so very close. Does anyone else have a guess? Or anyone else know what dime a dozen means? Yes, Elaine?
I think it means that people has a lot of money and he doesn't want to he and he or she doesn't he or she use it a lot, like he has a lot of money and then one day he bought a car, a house, and a lot of things.
And buys a lot of things. Okay. All right. So, anyone else have a clue or maybe want to guess what this word means? So, Jinyi says a lot of something. Yes, Jinyi, you're on the right track. So Jinyi is very close. Jinyi and Serena. So if you combine Jinyi and Serena's answer, you would get dime a dozen, which means kind of like a lot of something. And then dime is only 10 cents. So 10 cents, meaning very little. Like here. So that is what a dime is. It's only 10 cents. And for a dozen, meaning 12. 12 of something. That's what a dozen means. Okay, so dime a dozen, so 10 cents for a dozen, 12 items mean it's very cheap, meaning each item is less than 1 cent. So it means that it is very common in this case. Something that is very cheap means that it is very common. You might see it a lot. Think of maybe very cheap candy or very cheap items in a store. Because they're so cheap, maybe you see it a lot of times or a lot often in the store. So for example, maybe paper. Paper is very common, so it might be a dime a dozen. Okay, as an example sentence over here, a dime a dozen can be used like this. You have on this beach, seashells are a dime a dozen, especially at low tide, meaning seashells are found everywhere on this beach, especially at low tide. So they're very common, is what they're saying. Okay, does anyone have an answer or maybe a sentence that they want to create using this idiom? No answer? Or anyone want to try using an attempt this idiom? So yes, Elaine.
Amber wanted to buy some candies. When but she thinks it 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 it's very it because she wanted to buy the golden wrappers candy in the shop. But when she reached the shop, she found out there's ton of a lot of dime a dozen golden wrappers candy.
Okay, so good job, Elaine. So to shorten that sentence, you can say Amber wanted to buy some candy, but she thinks it's very, we can say, and she thinks it's very good candy. The price of them were very low because they were a dime a dozen. So here you're saying how they were price of it is very low because they were very common. So a dime a dozen. And in this case, you can even say it's literally a dime a dozen just because of how common it is. Okay, so this concludes our idiom of the day. Moving on to homework now, since we're only having 1 minute left in class. So for homework tonight, we're going to have, we didn't get to do about the writing passage, so I crossed that out, as well as last week's homework was about the best experience you've ever had during winter. Instead, since it is close to Women's Day, write about the most important invention by a woman in science or or arts. So you can do some research and write about the most important invention or artwork done by a woman in science or art. Oh, here, I'll say arts. Invention or work. Okay, yes, Elaine?
Can we write about animal science like
Yes.
Jane Goodall?
So you could write about animal science as well. So it just has to be done by a famous, not a famous, but just a woman in science. Maybe this woman was very influential or she was the first person to think of this idea or something. So you can write about a woman in science or arts. Since it is National Women's Day on March 8th, so I thought that we could do this. Write about an important invention or work done by a woman in science or arts. Okay, so I'll stop sharing here, and this will be for homework. So I'll put this in the chat in case anyone wants to keep it or take a photo of it. Homework writing assignment. Okay, so I'll stop sharing here. I'll let you all go on with the rest of your day, everyone, and I'll see you all next week. So remember to submit your writing onto the forum, as well as have it ready to read out loud at the start of class. Okay, bye everyone. I'll see you all next week.
Bye.
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 Bye.